Overreactions are great, but sometimes you go back, you watch the tape, you reevaluate, and some other things rise to the surface. What has risen to the surface for us? We're looking back at the Marshall game and maybe sprinkling some thoughts around the rest of the SEC next on the Locked On Bulldogs podcast.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. He is Daniel. I am Clint. Today's episode brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Locked On College, $20 off. More on them in a second. Daniel said it. The overreaction is great. When we get in our feels,
it's a heck of a time.
Immediate reaction. It's immediate thoughts. Sometimes they're measured. Most of the time they're not.
Often not. But that's
so
okay.
That's fine because that's part of footballing and fandom. Okay. Today we come back and we want to look at three things that we revisited. Look at some tape again. Look over some numbers again. Second pass through, it's like we got to do the midterm all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You got to take it back to the dorm.
Yeah.
You got to sit in it a little bit more and you go, I see where I have gone wrong. Or, I now understand why I got this right. Second pass through, Daniel, of this.
To be clear, I'm not planning on changing any of my answers. I'm not.
No, because I got the 78% the first time through. And you know what?
We're fine with that.
I'm fine. It's not. I will be moving on next semester.
All right, where do you want to start, Clint? Your very first. You've slept on this now. We've digested a little bit. First thought, UGA Marshall. By the way, we're going to hold segment 3. We're going to hold all other SEC team thoughts for segment 3. So if you're interested in my thoughts on other SEC teams, maybe stay tuned to segment 3.
That 199. Segment 3 will have is 38%. On 38% of something, it was really, really, really bad. Okay, Daniel, here's where I want to start. And this is meta that's going to trickle back down, but I thought about this defense once more. Because that's where my mind always goes. Because again, Georgia fan, this just in, top 5 defense wins you championship. Like it's proven. Okay. Daniel, I don't know how to not go back to my overreaction and double down on it more after I watched it. I thought, and I looked at some film. We said this defense will be elite, will be top 5. And then I started thinking and I started going back to what were some of the markers. Marker number 1, how Kirby coached those defenses. We talked about it all offseason. There's specific type of players. There's a Richard LeCount who needs a little extra motivation. And then there's Kirby, who this offseason named names. And when he did, he didn't blow smoke. He didn't over encourage. And he didn't Richard LeCount them. Instead, he just said, yeah, those are dudes. And all they got to play is within the system, and they'll be fine. So I saw that in CJ Allen and Raylan Wilson, who I watched the first half this morning. I don't know any linemen that will be able to stop those two, or running backs who will be able to outperform those two.
Yeah.
Secondly, we have new names up and down this defense on every level who were throwing people around.
Yeah.
Again, Marshall, talent. The biggest difference is speed. Speed, I might be able to say to you, okay, I get it. The difference of Ohio State receivers last year, the difference of even LSU defense, which, by the way, they are very fast and very formidable. That's true. But size and strength and the ability to stay, that's easier to translate from Marshall to LSU. Easier, not the exact. Our defense was not being dislodged, or were not being prohibited from getting to the ball at all.
No.
I am doubling down. I feel more confident in my defensive take.
Yeah.
This morning, Daniel, where do you want to
I don't disagree with you. If I had to temper you a bit, the way that I would temper you is by saying, again, a reminder, the secondary was in no way tested in this game. And so we do not know.
I said speed aside. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that's what passing
there was not an accurate quarterback.
No.
There was not an offensive line that the coaching staff had any confidence to protect the quarterback. And so the passing game was not even a consideration in this affair with Marshall. Tony Gibson did not want any part of it. And so that's the part of the defense we've not yet learned about.
Correct.
And it parlays, I think, into the first thing I want to talk about, which is there's some injury stuff to have your eyes on right now. There's some things that we need to discuss. Okay. And one of them is Dalen Everett, right? Apparently injured in practice last week.
Yep.
We don't really have a firm timetable as of time of recording right now. Kirby Smart doesn't even want to tell you he's injured. He looks mad that he has to say the word the words he's injured when answering a question about Dalen Everett. But Dalen Everett going down, I don't have to tell you, Clint, is a massive deal for this.
Massive.
Like, this is one of the 4 best projected defensive players on the roster, and probably the most important player at his position, and maybe plays the most important position on the defense for this UGA team this year, because it's the position we have the least depth at.
Yep, there it is.
It's the position we can least afford to. So are there 2 guys that we like other than Dalen Everett? Yes, there are. Can you get away with 2 corners and a star? Yes. And in fact, by the way, we'll get to this maybe in another segment, or maybe this will cover it right here. I thought Jonel Aguero played great on Saturday. His name didn't get mentioned in the overreaction. He's been often maligned, but I thought he played great. Time will tell as we move forward. I thought he held his own at the Star admirably. Can you get away with 2 corners? Yes. Asterisk, because unless one of them gets winded, hurt, tired.
There it is.
Like, you really want all 3 of these guys healthy if you're Georgia, because you do not want to be going to the guys behind them just do not at this point appear ready. And so Dalen Everett, Ernest Green, obviously there's the Juan Gaston, injury situation, but like, you got Ernest Green, so you got 2 offensive linemen that, he was obviously dinged up enough that he wasn't able to return in that game. And so there is some injury stuff going on with Georgia right now, but Dalen Everett, I think, is the biggest one that Georgia needs him back sooner rather than later.
You can get away with 2. Problem with it is 1 play. Can 1 play and a 1 blown coverage change the trajectory of everything in your life, Daniel, whatsoever? It can.
Yeah.
That's what we understand. That's what we
can. Force you to start a podcast. 1 blown coverage it's the origin story of yours truly. So
I will never say his name.
Write the man a thank you note if you would.
Actually, maybe I do. Yeah. Maybe I do.
Take him out to dinner take him out to dinner with all that ad read money.
Speaking of, we're going to come back after this. We have 2 more observations that you need to hear. But first, these. Daniel, do you happen to enjoy this lovely cap that I have on?
I was just looking at it. Yeah, it's a fine looking cap. I like the red. I like the red.
The red. Wouldn't you like to have had this cap when maybe you were at UGA watching him block every single kick imaginable?
Every kick Boss Bailey did.
Yeah. Boss Bailey did. Biggest rivalry game. This hat would be worn by you. For me, for Daniel, it's the game. These aren't just hats. They're some of the best vintage style hats worn back in the 80s and 90s. And guess what? They still have the same great price as they did back then with promo code LOCKED on. This vintage hat is $16.99.
What?
Visit gamecaps.com. $16.99. Thegamecaps.com. Grab your team's classic, bar, or retro circle design and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for an exclusive discount, because legends wear the game. But that's not all, Daniel. We also have our friends that you and I are very familiar with. Game Time. College football is back. We're more excited. Tailgates, rivalries. Guess what? When we go get tickets to games, we are using Game Time. We don't mess around with anything else. We know that if we get in to the stadium, it's going to be tickets from Game Time because they have views from the seats on the app. That's exactly what it is. The price on the app is exactly what we pay. No hidden fees, nothing else. Get into the game. Right now, we're going to Ole Miss. We're using Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, as promo code LOCKEDONCollege, $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today.
Clint, I'm going to ask you what your next observation is. Before I do, though, let me quickly say this. Sometimes you're going on a road trip. Let's say you're headed down to Florida.
Maybe. Okay.
Let's say you're leaving tonight.
Let's say that's all true.
Sometimes you're headed on a road trip and the kids in the back seat, they're acting up. They're fighting. They're yelling at each other. I don't know if you've lived this life before. This feels like an ad read, like I'm about to sell you a product that's going to fix this. There is no product that's going to fix this. Let me just tell you that.
Kid spray. Spray it on your kids. Keep them silent and still for an hour and a half.
Use code LOCKEDONCollege. Kidspray.com. A spray that you spray on your kids that keeps them silent for an hour and a half is illegal. That is just so we're clear. Do not do that. This should be the third segment. It's not. I don't know how we got here. Sometimes when your kids are acting up in the back, you got to pull the car over to the side of the road. You got to get back there. You got to look them in the eye. You got to give them some hard truth. Okay. Sometimes when the kids are acting up in the back, you just got to ignore it. Clint, you just got to, don't pay any attention to it. Don't even look at it.
It's on me, yo.
Okay. Here's the deal here. If you're one of these Gunner Stockton's not it guys, no. I'm just gonna ignore it. You are the toddler in the back seat, and I am gonna keep driving. So if you're waiting for this podcast to weigh in on our position on the quarterback battle, your question has already betrayed our amount of respect for the issue, because there is no such thing as a quarterback battle at UGA right now. We're pro Gunner Stockton. We're going to ignore it. We're moving on. Clint, your second issue that came up as you consider this game against Marshall, second thing that you like to go. We've talked about the defense being back. We've talked about injury concerns. Where do we want to go next?
I'm going to make a statement. By the way, it was my bad. I got on my feels. You came against Gunner on Saturday night. I was in the X machine.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna
here on out,
looking out the front windshield.
Speaking of the offense, this is gonna come as a shock to longtime UGA fans, because much maligned offense and the OC and running, and we think we're better play callers and all of that.
Yes.
I'm about to make a statement about this offense that, as I thought more from the establishment of the run game and the small window I got into the passing game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got a very small window.
You did.
This offense might be matchup proof, Daniel.
Yeah.
Execution still needs to happen. Game planning still needs to happen. Mm-hmm. All of that is still true. I'm not saying we get to roll up against any defense and we're going to steamroll them. What I'm saying is, if you happen to play a defense that's very, very, very physical, very stout, very strong, that's okay. Maybe you're deficient on the back end of your defense. Maybe your DBs don't have the hip flexibility and movement to get up and going on the field. Well, that's okay. We'll just mismatch you with what I saw from Colby Young, which, by the way, limited. I get it, limited.
Sure.
But he still had the same movement I was excited about. I haven't seen wide receivers move like this in a hot minute. I've seen Dylan Bell not move many times. I haven't seen Zachariah Branch get shot out of a cannon like that and go down the sideline like men are standing still in a hot minute. Reggie Bush down the sideline is the single greatest iconic moment in college football history, where he stopped on a dime and everybody goes flying past him, and then he gets going again in my lifetime.
Yeah.
because you cannot replicate and game plan for that. You try to mitigate it. We have strength in our run game. We have running backs. It seems like galore. This offense, and then add on top of that, fine. Let's say you load the box and you're coming downhill and you're pinching a lot on run scheme. Let's say you do happen to have a wide receiver that gets locked up because you got a DB on the other side. That is really dang good. It's okay. How about I just sprinkle in the guy who is supposed to hand off the ball and the advantage goes from 11 guys to 10 guys because the quarterback's out of it? No longer the case. This offense might just be matchup proof against any defense. We have an answer if you take away one of our strong points. I'm feeling really good about the speed, the size, the tenacity, and the game plan with Gunnar Stockton. Those three things are still ringing true today for me, Daniel. What is your
standout? I mean, I think I'll piggyback off of that because my second observation was going to be how many guys we saw. Kirby mentioned in his postgame presser, we got to play a lot of players, and that was true on special teams. By the way, do you know who led the team in tackles on Saturday? Take a guess.
Chris Cole.
Chris Cole did not lead the team in tackles, but he was third.
Janelle.
No.
Yeah, I was thinking you were going to call back to last segment.
No. Raylan Wilson led the team in tackles, but he was tied. He was tied with Zion Branch.
Oh, okay.
Clint. I'm sorry, Zion Branch is who we're talking about. The other Branch brother. So, one Branch brother led the team in receiving yards, and the other led the team in tackles. That's a pretty good debut for the USC transfers. Georgia played a lot of players. I'm going to stick on the offensive side here, though, even though I wanted to shout out Zion Branch, who played a lot on special teams as well as on defense. The guys that got involved, right? I saw a go route in the end zone. I saw a little fade in the corner of the end zone attempted to Noah Thomas in the game. I saw a little 20-yard in route attempted to Talon Taylor in the game, early in the game. I saw Colby Young make a 18, 20-yard reception down the left side. Obviously, we saw Zion Branch get involved. Obviously, London Humphrey scores a touchdown. Obviously, you got plenty of guys involved, but CJ Wiley gets in at the end of the game, gets a little bit of run. I was pleased with these guys that, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, particularly the offensive skill positions. And then you carry that over to the running backs. I know we talked about this at length. You carry that over to guys like Dwight Phillips, guys like Chauncey Bowens.
Yes.
Even the freshmen. So you carry that over to the number of guys that I thought got significant reps. Now, at Tennessee, is that going to tighten up? Obviously. The rotation is going to tighten up significantly when you get to Tennessee. But the thing that you need is that you need those core pieces. We got to figure out who the cream is that's going to rise to the top.
Did you hear Kirby's postgame?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, Clint. Like, we're trying to evaluate and we're trying to learn. Yeah. We're still in the learning information acquisition phase.
That's where we're
right. And so you got to get these guys reps. I was really pleased with the amount of reps that we got. I was really pleased, even though I said I'm not going to talk about the quarterback battle because it doesn't exist. I was super pleased that Ryan Puglisi got his first live bullets type of reps. Those are important. Gunnar Stockton might get dinged as we move through the season. Like, there's going to be moments when Ryan Puglisi is going to have to step up and play for this team. And so really important. Georgia didn't get those last year. Georgia didn't get to play the 3s and the 4s last year because they were fighting for their life against everybody they played. Yes, they won a bunch of games. Yes, they won the SEC, made the college football playoff, but they were in dog fights over and over again throughout the season. I mean, with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, it was all shut down for the start. The starters were all shut down. We were rolling deep on the depth chart. And that's exactly what Kirby wants, because he said it before the game. If you come to Georgia and you deserve to play, we're going to find a way to play you. We don't believe in depth charts here. What we believe is who has earned playing time. We're going to give that guy playing time. Period. That's it. And we saw a lot of guys that apparently have earned some playing time, Clint.
By the way, really quick, Daniel. CJ Allen, 90.4 grade. Raylan Wilson, 83.4 grade. Kristen Miller, 78.3. Zion Branch, Justin Williams. Those are the top defensive players from Marshall. Again, I've already started the CJ Allen. You took a jump.
He's sorry. Sometimes he just gets so scared is all.
You took a jump. I didn't know you had the ability to be a tenacious downhill tackler and have the subtlety to go into coverage and to fly sideline to sideline. That's on me. We're going to come back after this. We're going to talk about 38%. 38% of things happen to a SEC team that were flat out bad. But first, these. These are, in fact, Rugiet. Guys, you probably heard of Agra Cialis, maybe even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time for Rugiet Ready. Rugiet is next generation prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal. Its 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue, kicks in fast, average of 15 minutes, and effects last up to 36 hours. You can even read real customer reviews on their site. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege. Use promo code LockedOnCollege, 15% off today. Rugiet.com, Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege. Use promo code LockedOnCollege, 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounding drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information.
Yep. Clint's trying to bring math into the show.
I'm trying. Look, I don't want to, but when math confirms what your eyeballs told you, you feel good. And here's 38%. On 38% of his passes, Arch Manning threw a football that was not able to be caught. Not that it's a 50-50 ball. Not that it's a catch probability. I'm not talking about catch probability. I'm talking about 5 yards in the dirt in front of the receiver.
You're talking about if Jorge Pickens was running the route, no catch.
Jorge Pickens is looking back, doing one of these.
Right. If Jamar Chase played for the Texas Longhorns, he wouldn't have caught any of those balls. That's what you're saying. On darn near 40% of his throws.
So I ask you, people who trust national media types. I'm asking anybody. I'm asking Chance Mock. When you say
come on the show, Chance.
I'll reach out. We're friends over on the X.
We'd love to have you.
Love to have you. I'm asking everybody, if I took away your ability to say his name and I said, tell me anything else about what you saw from him outside of his name that tells me he is a competent quarterback.
He was wearing a Red Bull hat.
He had that commercial. He had those 3 commercials though that all shown after he nosedived a 66-foot fastball into the ground.
I didn't see him wearing his Warby Parkers, Clint. There's a chance he forgot his contact lenses, and the Warby Parkers, he wasn't wearing them.
This is my last. 38% of the times he threw a ball that was uncatchable. When your coach, this is all that also all that I know about how bad you are. In the biggest stage, in the biggest moments, 4th down, you didn't have the ball in your hands to perform a play. Your coach took it out of your hands.
Well,
You didn't throw. You ran and did QB sneaks. QB sneaks that didn't work, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And your most impressive plays were 2 throws in the fourth quarter in which time was trying to grind down and 2 runs of 18 yards. 4 plays were your most impressive. And outside of that, in actual competition, you couldn't perform.
It was as bad of a debut as you could possibly imagine for Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. I mentioned it on the Overreaction Show. I think the worst look was Steve Sarkisian in the postgame presser saying that he's really happy, quote, really happy with how much progress Arch made during the game. How bad must this guy have been in fall camp? If he was really happy with the progress he made during the game, this man in fall camp must have been throwing it the wrong direction, like turning around and throwing it backwards.
Correct.
It's an indication to me, like we needed confirmation on this.
Go ahead.
Somebody, and by somebody I mean the Texas boosters, have their collective hand up the back of Steve Sarkisian, and they are just controlling him like a puppet. Steve Sarkisian is not in charge. You understand? Arch Manning could throw 90 interceptions, 90 interceptions this year, and he would not be benched by Steve Sarkisian because Steve Sarkisian is not in charge of this football program.
No,
like,
sir.
He's not calling the shots.
No, sir.
Texas has got their money, and they tried to Lane Kiffin purchase their way to some talent and some, like, relevance in college football.
Brian Kelly outshone you, which is never a good thing.
No, it's not. Because right now, Georgia and LSU are the class of the SEC.
They're
Georgia because of its pedigree and like recruiting rankings and track record. Georgia hasn't done anything, by the way, this year. But I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying Georgia's done anything this year. But because of its pedigree and recruiting rankings and track record, and LSU because they're the only team in the SEC that has done anything on the field. And they have the most impressive win in college football this year. And I don't care what you say about Ohio State because they were at home and LSU was on the road at night in a very hostile environment. Kudos to LSU, by the way.
Daniel, that's a real team.
Looking forward to the first weekend in December. We'll see you there.
We'll see you there because Alabama.
We'll see you there. Joy, we'll see you there.
We will see you there.
I'll wear the hat, Joy. It ain't gonna be Texas.
No.
And it ain't gonna be Alabama, Clint.
No. Guys, I watched so many Alabama players on the backside of their uniform have grass stains.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were being ran over by the physical juggernaut Florida State. He's 5'8".
If you want to talk about how embarrassing it is to get outcoached by Brian Kelly, Kalen DeBoer says, hang on 1 second. Let me throw my hat into the ring because I got outcoached by Mike Norvell.
Oh, no. By the way, Mike Norvell said no to taking Kalen DeBoer's job, and he may have known something.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, this just in. Kalen DeBoer's job is about to be available again. So Mike Norvell may have another shot at it.
He's got another go around.
He said, up the salary by about $10 million and we'll talk. We'll see. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We're looking ahead. We're talking by the numbers.
Yes.
Georgia's next game on Saturday. What are we looking for? What are the numbers that are going to be important in that game? All of that. And
we're going to have a special guest as well. A few special guests. Daniel. They might all share the same last name.
This week is going to be the week of the guests. Get excited about it, and we'll see you guys later.
See you.